Alfred the Great, the king who stopped the Vikings, the storm from the north. In the 9th century, a new terror was rising along the coasts of Europe. From the frozen lands of the north came fierce warriors, crossing the seas in their long, narrow ships. They were known as the Vikings. At first, they launched small raids and plundered coastal settlements. But over time, their ambitions grew. They no longer wanted only to loot. They wanted to conquer, and they turned their eyes toward Britain. At that time, Britain was not a single nation. It was divided into several rival Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. This fragmentation created a perfect opportunity for the Vikings. Then, in 865, an event occurred that would change the course of history. The Great Heathen Army arrived on the shores of Britain. It was said that the army was led by the sons of Ragnar Lothbrok. Their objective was clear: to conquer Britain.
The first blow fell upon Northumbria. Already weakened by civil war, the kingdom quickly collapsed. Next came East Anglia, where King Edmund was killed. Mercia soon bowed under Viking pressure. Within just a few years, Britain's most powerful kingdoms were disappearing from the map one by one. Only one major power remained, Wessex, and the fate of Wessex would soon rest in the hands of a young prince, Alfred. Alfred's rise. Alfred was not a king at first. He was a prince fighting alongside his older brother, King Ethelred. He participated in numerous battles against the Vikings. His courage became especially noticeable during the Battle of Edington in 871. As the battle began, his brother remained behind to pray. When the Vikings attacked, Alfred did not hesitate. He took command of the army, led the charge, and successfully drove the Vikings back. The victory made him a hero, but the triumph did not last long. The Vikings soon returned. Wessex suffered heavy defeats at Basing and Merton. Then King Ethelred died. In 871, Alfred became king. But what he inherited was not a strong kingdom. Quite the opposite. It was a state on the brink of collapse. The last kingdom, when Alfred became king, much of Britain was already under Viking control. Northumbria and East Anglia were gone. Mercia had fallen. Wessex stood alone. 4 years, Alfred fought against the Vikings. He won some battles and lost many others. More than once, he was forced to pay tribute. Yet somehow, he managed to keep his kingdom alive. Then, in 878, everything changed. The Viking leader Guthrum launched a surprise attack. In the middle of winter, he struck at Chippenham. Alfred was caught completely off guard. He lost his palace. He lost his army. He nearly lost his entire kingdom. And with only a handful of loyal followers, he was forced to flee into the marshes. For a king, there could hardly be a greater fall. The king in the marshes. Alfred took refuge in the Somerset marshes. In a small place called Guthrum, he struggled to survive. At the time, many believed he was dead. The Vikings were certain of their victory, but Alfred refused to surrender. Secretly, he began gathering supporters. He launched small raids. He reconnected with loyal nobles. 4 months, he slowly rebuilt his strength. Then unexpected news arrived. One of the Viking leaders, Ubba, had been killed in battle. The news boosted Anglo-Saxon morale. Alfred realized that the opportunity he had been waiting for had finally arrived. He emerged from hiding and sent a message to his people: "Your king is alive." Those words reignited hope. men once again took up arms. Warriors began gathering around Alfred. The final confrontation was approaching. The fate of Britain. In 878, Alfred and Guthrum met on the battlefield at Edington. This was more than a clash between two armies. The future of Britain depended on the outcome. If the Vikings won, Wessex would fall. Anglo-Saxon resistance would come to an end. If Alfred won, Britain's destiny would change forever. After hours of fierce fighting, the Viking line finally broke. Alfred pressed the attack. Guthrum's forces began to retreat. Soon, the Viking army was defeated. The survivors fled back to Chippenham. Alfred pursued them and laid siege to the town. After weeks of starvation and isolation, Guthrum surrendered. This was not merely a victory. It was a turning point. Alfred the Great. Many rulers would have executed their defeated enemy, but Alfred chose a different path. He spared Guthrum's life and persuaded him to convert to Christianity. Together, they established a new order in Britain. Yet Alfred did not stop there. He built fortified towns. He reorganized his army. He strengthened the kingdom's defenses. He laid the foundations of a navy. He also placed great importance on education and learning. His goal was not merely survival. His goal was to build a strong and lasting state. And he succeeded. Even after Alfred's death, Viking attacks continued. But Britain was no longer the same. The system Alfred created endured. Today, many historians consider him one of the key architects of modern England. Perhaps that is why history does not remember him simply as Alfred. It remembers him as Alfred the Great, because he did more than stop the Vikings. He saved a people. He rebuilt a kingdom. And he changed the course of history. What do you think? How might Britain's fate have unfolded if Alfred had never existed? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories from history. See you in the next video.